Hey folks, it's Erick Blackwelder. Today we're going to have a quick talk about the 5 types of clients. Okay, 5 types of clients. We're going to go from the best to the worst. What's the best? The great clients. The great clients. What makes them the great clients? Well, 2 things. First of all, they come in with their expectations in line with reality. Okay, if they're selling a house, they're pretty realistic about what their house is worth and what they can expect to get out of it. They also have all of their documents in hand at the initial appointment so that we can talk about what's reality and we can have a good meeting together. If they're thinking about buying a house, they're very realistic about what they can afford and also how much they want to spend. And they have all of their documents in hand for the lender so that they can get their loan process started. And they have all of the stuff together so that they can make this a seamless transaction. So the great client. What's the second kind? The sometimes great client. Okay, they've got it almost all together, but they've got a few things that are sort of out of sync, you know. I mean, for example, if they're selling their house looks great, but, you know, there's that one toilet downstairs that hasn't worked in years. And there's a couple of windows that need to get fixed. But otherwise, the house is great. You know, it's in good shape. And as far as buying a house, you know, everything's good. They've got good income. They're a little light on the down payment, but they can save up a little money and get a little bit more. And their credit is good, except they've got that one student loan that they've sort of got to get back in good graces on that. But otherwise, they're, you know, in good shape. So, you know, they're the sometimes great client. Then there's the fun but hopeless client, number 3. Great people. You'd have a great time with them. They're just fun people, but they're hopeless. Why? Well, if they've got a house to sell, their mortgage is up here, and they're down here underwater, and they can barely get up enough to breathe because they've got so much debt all around them. Because they got the credit cards over here, you know, and their truck got repossessed last month. And they live paycheck to paycheck, and even then that doesn't cover all the bills. So, you know, they're great people. You'd have a great time, but they can't sell. And as far as buying, they can't buy anything. They don't make enough money. They're not making enough to pay for what they got, much less what they want to get. So they're fun, but they're hopeless. Now the 4th type. Oh, this is an evil character. The use ya and lose ya. This is the kind of guy that wants to come in and sit down, have an initial consultation, and have a lot of exchange of ideas about how to sell a house and how to, you know, get a good sale price on it and all that, and then he wants to run off and sell it himself as a for sale by owner. You know, in the early days, I'd get guys that would say to me things like, "Hey, Eric, I'd love to come in and sit down and pick your brain." And I've learned over time how to spot these guys and say, hey, brain picking, that's $500 an hour. I'll take cash, please. And these guys think that, you know, there's nothing strange about this. They go to parties and they brag about how they do it to attorneys. They do it to CPAs. They do it to financial planners. They'll do it to anybody. And they'll say, and you should do it too. You know, if you need some financial advice, there's this great financial planner. I went and saw him, sat for an hour for a free consultation. I'm not going to use him, but I got his free information. And, I sold my last house. I went over and talked to this real estate guy and got a bunch of free information and sold it myself. So anyway, the use you and lose you. The last type, the fifth type, is the doesn't trust or the don't trust. Oh, they don't trust anybody. They're scared to death. Oh, yeah, they're afraid of everything. They're afraid of what could happen if they move, if they do anything. They're stuck in fear. Okay? They can't believe that they can go to a professional and get expert help, and that those people are there to provide them with a service, and that they will help them in their lives. So they don't go to CPAs or attorneys or financial planners, or they just can't believe that they'll get professional help. And therefore they stay stuck in life because they don't trust. When I talk to them and say, you've got your VA loan option available to you because you were in the military, and so you can buy a house very easily with no down payment, and we can get the seller to pay your closing costs so you can get into the house with no money out of your pocket except for the deposit. And they say, there's got to be more to it than that. No. Well, there's got to be some hidden angle to it. No. Well, there's got to be something you don't know about. I've done this over 1,000 times. I think I've learned a thing or two about it. Oh. They see boogeymen behind rocks everywhere. So the don't trust. So there we go. There's the great client, the sometimes great client, the fun but hopeless, the use you and lose you, and the don't trust. So kick back, relax, take a little time to reflect on that, and figure out which one you are. And let's hope that you are the great client. And if you're not, figure out how you can become the great client. This is Eric signing off. See you later. Bye-bye.